Hi everybody, this is Pallavi from Our Better Planet. We're speaking with Smriti from Chiaroscurobags today, and she's joining us for Conscious Souk Edition 7, which is happening in Chennai over the weekend on the 25th and 26th of February. And just a little bit of a backstory about Chiaroscuro Bag. So I've been an avid follower for quite some time now, and when we decided to do Chennai, we kind of wanted some brands that have like an omnipresence kind of a feel to them, and that's how Chiaroscuro came on board. And Smriti was kind enough to decide to be a part of this edition. And let me just give me a minute and have her join the discussion. Smriti, can you see the invite? One second. Hi, Smriti. Hello. Smriti, can you see the invite? Hi,
Hello.
Smriti.
I'm doing
How
good. Oh
are
my God,
you?
I'm just looking at my face. Being the first you being a small business owner, you look tired all the time. And then you try and yeah. So
And then you're doing
I don't
so
know what
much.
happens.
You
We
When are
fly
you
tomorrow
traveling?
early morning. We have an 8 a.m. flight. So we're in Chennai at 11. And we're really excited. So yeah, hopefully we get some sleep tonight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was just telling everybody about
Right.
the brand Chiaroscuro, and would you mind talking a little bit about the brand and what you
Sure.
guys do and how it all started? Just a little
Right,
bit
sure.
for the
So
audience to know. Yeah.
Chiaroscuro is we're based in New Delhi and we're now in year 8 of business. And essentially it started very much as a homegrown brand. So it started in my house. And the idea in 2015 for me was basically to have a place to buy good quality leather bags that embody what India is able to make in terms of pure leather. Because as a country, we're able to produce a lot of really good quality leather. But at that time, I used to feel like everything just good gets exported. And the options in the domestic market are
Yeah.
either non-leather or it's very poor quality leather, for which you are paying a lot of money. So the idea for us was that, let's make a good quality product, which is good leather. It lasts you a long time. And it's a brand that embodies certain values like made in India. It treats its artisans well and showcases the process and the people behind the product. And you get a great product without actually breaking the bank. So that was the idea when we started. And essentially, I started at home with one artisan and we built a website. So we're completely web based. We don't stock in any stores. We don't sell anywhere else because we like working with our customers directly. It's a very personal relationship. And as our market kind of grew, we also grew our team of artisans, and now we're almost a team of 30. And we have proper office space, thankfully. Not, my house was taken over, and then we finally moved out. And so, yeah, that's broadly the idea of what started Chiaroscuro and a little bit about our journey over the past 7 years.
Yeah, I just want to add that your bags are also very classic, They aren't very, you just go
Right.
with the
Yeah.
trends, which is amazing because they can be, and that's how I kind of
Yes.
got introduced to the brand, because I always kept looking for things which you could be
Right.
used in multi ways, because I don't like to stock too many bags. I want my bags to be, I can use them multi ways. So even if I have like a big tote, I can fold it up and use it as a clutch
Yeah.
and stuff like
No,
that.
that is definitely
So
an
that's
idea
how.
as well. So if like essentially if you're looking at something as a sustainable product, as a sustainable buy, the idea is also that you are able to use it over a long period of time. And that means that it needs to
Correct.
transcend fashion
Correct.
cycles. And for us, like I think a handbag is a perfect example of a product that sort of treads the fine line between fashion and design. Because there is an element of how it looks on you, like there's an aesthetic element, but there's also a strong ergonomic element because as a woman, you're thinking about utility, practicality, and a lot of times fashion trends don't necessarily kind of adhere to those aspects. So what we try to do is create classic designs that sort of transcend, different women across the geography of India and of course internationally, different types of fashion cycles, different styles of dressing, and you may be of different body types because there's definitely a fit angle when it comes to handbags as well. And so yeah, it's definitely about creating classics because then you're just able to use it a lot and
Yeah.
every day, regardless of what you're wearing. You don't really need to think about matching and, is this going to work? Will it fit
Yeah.
everything? Of course, over time, we have kind of expanded the line to include a number of different occasions. And so there are now certain bags that maybe you only carry out for an evening or for a nice wedding or,
Yeah.
just on travels. But the base of the design is always rooted in practicality and ergonomics. So that's definitely there. And if you have a build quality that's good, then your practical design is going to last you long. Like it won't die after a year. You're not going to have the bag falling apart, or you're not going to feel like, oh, the leather started peeling, which are like common issues that people do have. So you may have bought something and spent a fair amount of money, but if after a year you need to buy again, that kind of goes against the whole point of sustainability and I don't know, good return for money, whatever money it is that you're investing.
Yeah, of
So we're conscious of
course.
that. Like if you're investing a certain amount in our product, we want you to feel like it's like truly an investment. It's not just a buy that you've made on an impulse or you just like something because you like the color or you like the way it looked like. We want you to think through how you're going to use this and will this go with your style, with what is in your wardrobe, and will you use it? And because I mean, that's the whole point of all the hard work, right? And also the hard work you put in
Yeah,
earning your money and then spending it on a chiaroscuro. So yeah.
I think that's why you'll keep coming back to, because otherwise trends are too much work.
Sure.
It's like it weighs, you have to be matchy and you have to have things for different occasions. So any which ways, I think there are all sorts of people and there is a
Yes,
market
that's
for
true.
just
That's
about
definitely that.
everything.
I feel like trends are not work. I think trends are easier. I feel like thinking through your what you're buying and how you're going to use it can be a lot more work. But okay, whatever
Yeah.
works for for everybody. But you definitely have to. It's a different way of thinking when you think about a handbag that
Yeah.
deeply. That do I need something bigger? What are my prerequisites? Do I want something softer? Is weight an issue for me? Am I like the type of person who really likes compartments and I want my things organized, or am I like a throw it all in one jola type of person? So then, there's it's a lot, and every woman is so different, and that's what we find, and it's nice because why shouldn't every woman be different, right? And why should anybody tell you that this is the right way to carry a bag, or this is like the coolest color now, this is the nicest shape, or here's what looks good on you? For us, it's like, hey, whatever you like and whatever you're comfortable with within our broad world of
Of
aesthetics,
course.
we'll make it for you. And if you feel good, you look good. Essentially, like that's the point. We're not going to tell you, hey, this is not the trend of spring, summer of 2023. We're going to say, hey, this is Pallavi's trend, and like you're the trendsetter, and
Yeah.
and it works beautifully because if you're happy, You enjoy the bag, you use it every day, you love it, and we're happy. Five other people will see that you're happy and it'll look really good and they'll want to copy you, which happens a lot. A lot of people are like, oh, that bag's so nice, that combination is so lovely. And I mean, your customers are so creative because we customize. Essentially, we're a made to order brand. So people get very creative because, they're like, oh, can you do this leather here and that color there? And like, can you, add this special edit? Because now the line's expanded to do so much more than just the classic designs, because we also want to showcase what's possible with leather. It's a beautiful material and there's so much possible. And I feel like people don't understand it enough. Like in India, I think we only understand pure leather and non-leather. And of course, now there's the stock of vegan leather and, and all of that. But within leather too, there's good leather and bad leather. And even within good leather, there's 50 types of leathers. Like we understand fabric so well in India. We know our khadis, we know our malmals, and we know our silks, and we know all of that. But it's the same with leather. And there's so much that's possible. And so we do so many different types, and we're doing so much types of like surface ornamentations, like we're doing hand embroidery, we're doing zardozi, we do weaving, we're doing embossing, there's foiling, and so leather can kind of replicate the look of an exotic animal hide, and everything looks totally different. So if I make the same shape in 3 different types of leathers, they look totally different. You'll wear them on a different occasion. They'll be used by totally different women. And that's really, really nice. And it's really exciting. So, sorry, I'm rambling on.
Yeah.
But
no,
yeah.
It's amazing because it's your brand, you're excited to share as much as possible. So yeah, I mean, I'm totally in love, and I'm looking forward to see your bags and touch and feel them, because that's very important for me as a shopper to be around, think, a decision. And I think not only bags, always we should actually put in this time and effort for every pick that we're making, especially now when we are investing. It's an investment, right? These pieces that we buy, be it apparel or be it shoes or be it a bag, it is an investment. So people just have the sense of investment when they are investing in these luxury labels, and when they are buying things like glasses and watches. I feel it's the same. It adds the same kind of value.
That's definitely
the purpose, right?
Yeah.
A watch.
So I remember, like, I spent a few years living in Italy, and it's really interesting. Like, different cultures have different ideas of what an investment is. And like for us here in India, or a splurge is like for us here in India, spending on jewelry or spending on your wedding, or technology. That's something that we don't think twice about. Like we all want the latest iPhone, we want the latest like laptop, and it could be a ridiculous amount of money, but we're very happy to spend it. And I would find that like for example, the most fashionable trendy woman in Italy would be walking down Milan wearing the latest whatever Prada or whoever, whichever handbag, and the clothes and the shoes, but it would be like a button phone. And so for them, like technology is not a thing at all. It was not an idea, not something that they want to splurge on. But for them, it's fashion, and we want to invest in crafts and like that kind of product. And I just thought it was really interesting, and I can see that change also coming in India. I don't want to say change because I feel like they're different. Like India is so segmented, and like with such a variety of people, and a lot of people do really see value in investing money in local produce, which is, backed up by local artisans. And whether you're directly buying from an artisan, or you're buying from an artisanal brand like us, or you're buying from a bigger brand, it's nice that people want to kind of nurture the indie scene. And that's the space that we're in. And so it is definitely the sustainable angle, but it's also that you're supporting a local brand. And it's really great because essentially you're nurturing your own country. We all have these beautiful craftsmen here, and I know it's so jaded and we talk about this so much, but it's really true. Like if you're willing to pay a certain price for a made in India product, you're basically ensuring that your artisan is well paid, and and is working at a very good level of skill, because you're paying him well, you're like giving him a chance to work at his highest level, as opposed to what normally happens in India, because a lot of people who manufacture come to manufacture in India, the idea is they're coming for a price advantage because they think, oh, India means cheap labor. And you're
Yeah.
basically diluting the level of skill in India. This is all that's happening here. And if you support brands like
Correct.
us that are telling you that, hey, we're not the type that is, misusing their labor and, sort of just giving you this story that, yeah, oh, we care about our people without any real backing, because that's also become a bit of a trend now, right? It's become a bit of a fad where people are like, oh, your clothes are made by so and
It's
so. And I'm like, okay, great. But like, what is so and so getting paid? Like, if I'm paying X for my beautiful malmal dress from you, so what component of X is getting paid to the artisan who made it? And I find that a lot of our customers want to know those kind of things. They're like, okay, we're paying 10,000 for your bag, but like,
yeah.
how much of that goes towards marketing, and how much of that actually is getting paid to artisans or up? And we're happy to answer those questions because it's so nice that people are thinking about all of these things. It's not just the quantum of money and what it means
Yeah.
to you. It's also like, where is that quantum going? How much of that is going to your shop rent and
Yeah.
like your marketing expenses for your latest high fashion magazine, or whichever I don't know, fashion week you're doing, or whichever Bollywood starlet you're paying to hold your bag. But that's the thing, right? Like, we do none of all of that, and it's really nice that without any of those so-called PR gimmicks, like, we are able to sustain. And it's really because customers are so much more discerning now, and they can very easily call
Yeah.
out a bluff. And I'm so happy because that's
Yeah.
great. Like, it really allows us to be authentic and and still be a
Yeah.
sustainable business that can, survive and thrive and do well, and, pay its people well and continue to be healthy and grow. So it's a great time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a great time to be in an indie business in our country.
No, it is a great time, and I think it's a
Yes,
win-win for all. As a brand, kind of gaining so much insight into what people are liking, and then you're
true.
incorporating that in your designs. And I think from a customer point of view, which I mostly am most of the time, because I don't own
Sure.
something that I create of my own. I usually support, but I know that I'm so privileged right now, to be alongside these beautifully crafted things
Right.
which are coming from India, and it gives me a huge sense of pride to be owning these, and sometimes it's just
Absolutely.
for me, it's custom
Absolutely.
made for me. That
Yes.
is luxury. It's
Yes.
absolute luxury, because who gets that one of a kind bag that only
Right.
I have, or maybe
Right.
two people will have
Yeah.
it. I'm not going from just any
Yeah.
store where there are hundreds of these. This is only for me, and
Mhm.
that gives me so much pleasure.
Sure.
Just a piece of clothing or bag, or we have somebody who's joining us with blouses. They're called the Button Thief, and their blouses are one of a kind. I love what they do. So it's so much, you have that one piece that
Yes.
Button Thief made, okay,
Yes.
around this period of
Yeah.
time was the design, and you can wear
Yeah.
it forever, like your bag. I carry it like
Yeah.
forever. So that gives me a sense
Right.
of super luxury,
Right.
that it's made for me.
Right. No,
That's
it's
how it
really
should be.
interesting that you
It
say that,
should be
because I feel like in
like
India, a lot of us are so used to, for example, the idea of like having a local tailor who can stitch our clothes. And honestly, that's a real luxury. You're
yeah.
absolutely right. But like, a lot of people feel like, isme kya hai? Like, what is the big deal? Like, why is this so premium? But I think we're just lucky and so blessed in India to have that kind of skill available. And you're
Yeah.
absolutely 100% right. That's exactly what is super special, that you get something that's crafted for you. With us, you can be part of that crafting process, because you get to see, we post a lot of photos and stories every day of like stuff being made. And, people with orders in are like clued in, and they're like, is that my bag? I think that's mine. I can see it now. And, and it's like, has it started yet? Which artisan is making it? And so you're like so connected from conceiving to the actual making, and then sometimes even part of the designing, because sometimes people are like, okay, can you like do A plus B and make C? And we're like, oh, that's a great idea. Why didn't we think of that? And a lot of times, like, it's just super fun. It's like working with a chef to like come up with a new recipe, and then you're part of like buying the ingredients, you're part of putting it together, and you're like, namak plus chini saath mein, will that taste nice? Will it be odd? And we give you our inputs, but then like at the end of the day, it's your recipe. And then something nice turns out, and then we all kind of eat it together, and we're like, wow, bahut acha ban gaya, this is really nice. So it's a lot of fun. Like, where else can you be part of that kind of a crafting process? And then you end up with a bag that is totally yours. And you're so
Yeah, and
connected to it, right? Like,
what
and
is the
that's beautiful. It's not just another thing that you spent money on. Like, it's not just a material purchase. It's like this whole beautiful experience that you've been part of. And then you're going to look after it nicely. You're going to use it beautifully. You'll talk about it with excitement. And that just changes the entire game.
yeah,
And that's essentially what we're about. Because I think I worked in fashion for so long before starting Chiaroscuro that it just felt kind of pointless to me, like at the end I was like, okay, another season, and then it was like first 2 seasons, then it became 4 seasons, then there was fast fashion, and I was like, ho kya raha hai? Like, what is happening? It's like this never ending kind of cycle.
yeah,
And there's no meaning, there's
yeah,
no connection, and there's no feeling. There's like literally no feeling. The passion is just what's the next thing, like what's the
yeah.
next newest thing. And here, yeah,
No, I think that does,
yeah,
right? Classic takes you
yeah,
out from that loop. So you are in your own zone, and you still have the best,
right.
because that is why it's called classic. And then you have to have the best of the best. So I think the more the people move towards classic, I don't want to preach, but I'm just saying that the better the world will get, because people will look out for, when you're buying just classic, then you will go to the classic
Well,
kind of a
I mean,
segment,
we're in
right?
that certain time where I
And
feel like the fashion cycles have become so cyclic, right? I feel we've done everything, like sab kuch ho gaya, and then the cycles have also come back like 3 and 4 times already. That now we're in this nice phase where we're celebrating individualism. So it's like, okay, what's your take, and that's your thing. And it's yes, there is a certain sense of like what colors are in, what shapes are in, and that of course does happen, and it is representative of what's happening in society at the time, and which I understand, but like broadly, it's not so singular anymore as it was even like 10 years ago. And definitely, of course, in the 20th century or the 21st century, it's very, very different now. But yeah, I remember studying like the history
yeah,
of fashion, like, in the early 1900s, and then, it went by decade, and everything was driven by it, and everything was the same. So there was a certain uniformity,
yeah.
and now literally it's like, okay, how different are you, and who are you? And let's get to know you, and let's celebrate that, and that's it.
Yeah, that's
Right.
in. That's totally in. And I have
Sure.
one very small request from
Yeah.
all our brands who are just doing such amazing work. I mean, you guys are way beyond any suggestion. But I just want to say that we should maybe portray ourselves as a more luxurious kind of a brand, because I feel
Yeah.
whenever I talk to people, I feel that when start talking about artisans, and when we start talking about uh, our raw materials, they get a sense that okay, now it's going down from here, and we are going to be talking about the Indian landscape of how people are not being treated well, and how the artisans are paid so less, and we don't want to really relate a product with that, because our artisans are getting amazing work to do. They are getting upskilled, they are being paid well. So I think we should go beyond that conversation, and make them really look
Yeah.
out for our products, because we are very
Yeah.
exclusive, right?
No, I feel you.
So
And I
we kind
mean,
of
I have to tell you that, like, in the first year, so our values have driven us from the very beginning. But for me, it was definitely like, I don't want to talk about the values. Like, I feel like the values should be visible. Like, people should understand when they interact with us, they should understand, or they should be able to see that the artisans are paid well, or that, we're sustainable, our designs are classic, or we're there, we give you a service guarantee. If something goes wrong, you come back to us, we fix the bag. Just those things, I felt like I don't want to like bullet point them. At the end of the day, I want it to be about our
yeah,
product. And even the way our website is structured, which by the way we're redesigning now, but it's the same one that I made 8 years ago. It literally, like, you have to like get into some little page to like figure out our philosophy and why we work this certain way, why are we made to order, we don't want to overproduce, we don't believe in mass production. There's so much that essentially we do. I could write an encyclopedia on like everything why we function, what are the different values that define chiaroscuro. But for me, it was like, okay, I mean, that's all great, but at the end of the day, people have to like the bags. People have to want to buy the bags. People have to use the bags and love the bags. Baki sab for us is icing on the cake, but it's really important. Or I don't want to say icing on the cake because it sounds frivolous, but I feel like I think it's the foundation of our building. So you don't necessarily see it, but it's there. And it's very core and it makes us who we are. And it's like the skeleton inside my body. But yeah, you don't see it and you don't need to talk about it. But the fact that you're seeing me move and run and jump and be excited, you know that there's a strong skeleton. And I think that's essentially what you're saying too. That like, let's kind of move the conversation away.
Yeah.
Sure, but I mean, it's also nice that the conversation is a little mainstream now because it's high time that it was mainstream, right? I mean, I feel like this conversations has started more actively about a decade ago. And yeah, they become more mainstream. They're also being used as like publicity, and a lot of people aren't really backing it up with anything real. But that's okay. That's kind of part of the process of
Yeah.
anything becoming super mainstream. So it's all right. I think there's a cycle for these things. And eventually it will move on to, hey, but this is just but obvious. Of course, the artist is going to be paid well. And of course, like they're going to be treated well. And of course, you're going to be a sustainable brand. Of course, you're going to provide good service, which will become the baseline. Like that's the idea that essentially somewhere we get there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's what I mean, not only to you guys are doing great because you've already created a place for yourself. But when I interact with these new upcoming smaller businesses, they want to floor people by giving them these details. I would just be
Right.
proud about what you're doing because what you're doing is something which is
Right.
very, very different. So we can all tell people
Right.
our stories are strong, amazing stories.
Right.
They have to be brought forward, but very in a way where you say that, okay, yeah, I own this thing and I'm doing something exclusive, so
Yeah.
this is the price for it, and this is what you
Right.
better understand what I'm doing if you want to get
Right.
into my product, right? So that confidence I feel sometimes is missing, and we are just too much talking about, okay, this is the India story and the artisanal story, and okay, great, understood, but your product stands out, and just be proud about it and just have a very, very sense of uniqueness about it, that
Yeah,
I'm doing such
our
amazing work.
customers could answer
I'm
this
sure we're all.
question better than like I could, but yeah, I want to say that there is a lot of love. I feel like that's there. It's understood when we interact with our patrons, and we also we don't discount our bags. We never go on sale. Like for a small brand, that's a really big deal. And you could have bought 20
Yeah.
bags from us, but that 21st also you're paying full price. And it's for us, it's a real victory that that customers coming back for the 21st bag is not like, I've bought 20 from you, and so now I want this special treatment and I want like 5 bags free. Nobody talks like that.
Yeah.
It's nobody talks like that. And I can't tell
Yeah.
you how happy it makes me because everyone understands the value of what they're spending and what they're supporting and what they're helping build, because it isn't really just about what we are doing. It goes hand in hand with the patrons
No,
and people buying from us.
I want to cut you there, Smriti. I don't think it's only about that. I think it's also about how your brand language is, or how you communicate that, okay, this is what is basic for us, because I have seen all kinds of people asking for all kinds of deals in all kinds of places.
Nobody
So
asks.
you can't.
I'm very honest here. It'll be like 1 in 1,000 people who will be like, okay, by the way, like, I'm almost ready to buy. Are you offering a discount? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I understand you asking. I would also ask, and it's absolutely fine. But no, we don't. But no, I have to tell you broadly, that's not the type of people that come to shop at Chiaroscuro. I don't know if this is going to change, but it's really nice. I understand the asking, and I will never
No, no,
hold that against somebody. You should ask. I will ask. It's my hard-earned money. I'm going to
yeah,
think 40 times before spending it and save the 1 rupee as well. But it doesn't come from a
correct.
place of like feeling like, oh, this is a local small brand, and so let me like try and get a good deal because they probably need the business, or I'm like, doing them a service by buying their bag and not the latest Louis
Yeah,
Vuitton. Because that person's really not going to come to us because they don't understand what we're doing.
yeah,
If
correct.
that's kind of the profile of how you shop, you're not coming to an indie brand. Like you're not interested in what you're not going to get it. So, and that's okay. Like, that's the beauty of India. It's such a huge market, and there's a space for everybody as long as you're consistent and you're kind of true to what you started with. So, yeah.
Correct. Yeah, and your customers have been throwing. I mean, they've been sharing their comments here, and they've been so. Some people are saying we've had your bags for 6 years, and it's amazing. Some people are like it's a new buy and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So you should know about it.
We get a lot
Wanted to
of
point that.
love. It's really
And
special. We do get a lot of love, and it's nice, I think. And we also share everything. Like for us, there's no such thing as a bad customer photo. Like we don't care if we can't see the bag as much, or the lighting's not good, or it's not taken in the most aesthetic background. For us, we're so thrilled because we're like, Hamara bag hai, like someone's using it. There's a bulk of our artisans have also just worked with export houses. So, for them to even see the bag being used or interact with the customer, because we also have an open studio, we welcome people to come in by appointment, and which by the way is also the nice thing about a pop-up because we're in a web-only brand. So these are like, it's a
yeah,
perfect chance for anybody to come and touch and feel the product. And you try it on, you can like see all the
yeah,
customizations. We're there to help you, guide you, because so much is possible. And those things can happen on the website. But when the artisan sees, their bags
of
being
course,
used, and it doesn't matter to them ki wo lighting achhi nahi hai or whatever. They're just like, I made that bag. Look at how happy she looks. And in fact, internally, they have a bit of a competition also because so we have a WhatsApp group in the office and we share all the photos on it. And a lot of times, because we send out Polaroids of the artisans on the bag, so you know who's made your bag. And a lot of times people send
okay,
personalized thank you messages that please thank Sarfaraz or please thank Hayat, that the bag's really beautiful. And so some of them are very cocky because they're just like, oh, I get the most compliments, and like my bags, there's never a problem. God forbid once in a while something goes wrong with the bag, it comes back because, we're here. We take full responsibility for everything we make. So if something goes wrong, we're there, to say, okay, we're going to fix this. But if something comes back, it's like
yeah,
his bag. My bag never comes back, I was never going to come back for 6 years also, so it's kind of like, and it's nice. It's nice that they have that kind of cockiness. So it's a lot to handle as a business owner, but it's a nice space. It's definitely a nice space. So yeah.
yeah. No, of course. But I mean, what you're building is commendable. It's not. It's from an outsider's. I can just hear you speak. There's so much of
I don't know where
energy
it's
and
coming from. I
because
have to tell you, sometimes till 2 hours ago, I was like, oh my God, I still have so much to do. The day's not getting over, and I have to wake up at 4 a.m. for my flight. Yeah, hopefully I don't drop dead in Chennai.
yeah,
Um, yeah. No, but there's a lot of gray
kind of
hair. I keep saying this. There's a lot and lot of gray hair, and that is the side effect of the main effect, I want to say, of running a very people intensive. It's a very labor intensive business, but I mean that's the heart of it, right? There won't be anything without it. And in India, and as a woman entrepreneur, there are all of these challenges, and it's been a journey. Let's just say that it's been a journey, but it's good. I can't have nothing to
yeah,
complain about. And you're right, we're definitely in a good space, and
yeah,
yeah, I have nothing to complain about. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I just want to conclude. I've taken a lot of your time. You have an early morning flight, so I just want to tell everybody who's on the live, going to watch the live later, or has viewed it before, that we are. I
Just
mean,
yeah.
Smriti, Chiaroscuro is going at Chennai on the 25th and
The Poly by
26th at
Amethyst,
the
right? And we
Folly by
start at 11
Amethyst.
a.m. and we continue all to 7:30 on both days, and it's the weekend, so please come. And Amethyst is a beautiful store. We're so excited to be there, and there's so many other lovely small brands. Everyone in the sustainable space, so you can buy our bags, you can buy some beautiful clothes and jewelry and a bunch of things. I know I'm going to be spending a lot of my money there already. I'm like dreading it. I looked at the other brands and I was like, oh no. Oh no, there goes my salary being paid to myself. This is not good news. So, yeah, but please come, guys. It's going to be a really nice and beautiful event, and yeah, but slow and lovely and personal. And we're looking forward to meeting you all.
And it's all because that's what we mostly look forward to. So interaction
Exactly.
with you guys, interactions with customers. That's the beauty of the physical space, that it gives people an opportunity to meet you guys, hear
Absolutely.
your stories, look at the
Right.
products, touch and feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's the entire idea. And so please welcome one and all, and see you there, Smriti,
Right.
day after. And
My
thanks so
pleasure.
much for your time.
It's
It was
lovely,
lovely,
lovely
lovely.
chatting with you too. Thanks for having me. All right. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.